Yo, I'm Vosk. Welcome to the VoskCoin mining farm. But first, let me show you how we got here. I'm doing an unboxing and an overview of the mining cave Cheetah. Our workers coming at you live with an update on my DIY at-home mining farm, okay? You know that's tails right there. 100 degrees, extremely loud. It's loud. For those who don't know, this December, her immune system was killing herself from the inside out. Lost my job over it, taking care of her. Fast forward, 3-4 months, here we are. So thankful that you, awesome community, have been so supportive and that she's been recovering. So hopefully tomorrow is our final vet visit and she is off of the steroids. Like, I refuse to lose. That's why I took out, a lot of these rigs, on debt. I bought Bitcoin on credit card. I could have lost basically everything I had worked for up to this point in my life, but nothing venture, nothing gain. Hey dude, why is your shed screaming 24/7? I'd be like, those are miners, my friend, cryptocurrency, you should join the movement. Obsessive or something? I'm out. I'm not gonna deal with this stuff. I'm not gonna come in here with this negative. I don't want this negativity. I don't want to live next to people that I hate. I want to be on a beautiful lot that I love to be at, and I'm so happy that Miss Vosk is happy. I mean, Tails is so happy when we get out there and we play around in the woods and everything else like that. This is crazy. We bought 100 acres to build a Bitcoin cryptocurrency mining farm. I'm a farmer. I farm Bitcoin. My first puppy, my Shiba Inu, waiting decades for this, is finally here. She's having a rough time on this trip back. What do you think? Not your most fun trip, right? Don't worry, we're gonna do some cool stuff. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Earning passive income at scale has not been all that passive. So I've been trying to basically get my money working for me, realizing the dream of learning more and then earning more. And let me just kind of start from the beginning with this stage of the farm. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about the history later, but so this is the gray shed, originally just called the mining shed 2.0 or 3.0. Technically it's 2.0 mining shed. We didn't have internet out here in the beginning, so I pulled Starlink out here. And this was supposed to be air cooled. The sizing was designed basically to look like and act like a shipping container. When I got this, shipping containers were ridiculously priced, and it was just unreasonable to buy any at that time. And I was ready to hit the ground running with that project, but then we got the pod lined up for air-cooled crypto mining. So I was like, well, let me pump the brakes on the gray shed. I'll deploy the miners that I currently have with the space in there, and then I'll reevaluate and go from there. While I still was planning to do air-cooled mining, I ran all the electrical infrastructure in that building to be able to do so. But that piece of the story gets a bit more complicated, and we'll get back to that. The next thing that happened, codenamed the field building, because I'm so freaking smart. I put a building in a field and I call it the field building. Yeah. And it's really VoskCoin HQ. So this is essentially a 2-story garage along with an RV garage, and there's a couple of pieces to this. So let's talk about the leaning tower of RV-ness. This is supposed to house an RV because I want to go to more cryptocurrency mining farms. I really want to take our mining farm tour video series to the next level, and basically using a mobile home is going to be the best route to do that for us. And then in the meantime, it doubles as additional space, storage, and also some more mining capacity. Eventually we were able to get hardwired internet ran out here. So we have hardwired Verizon which is incredible over Starlink. Much better, much cheaper. The RV garage is pretty tall. There's no second story in that piece of the building. I wanted to put a big porch on this, so I don't know, we could have a crypto cookout or something. I'm a sucker for a big porch. I feel like it's kind of like a lost art in this era. Now we're in VoskCoin HQ. I'll show you around real quick. It has absolutely been a very long work in progress. I'm a car guy, hit the track, so that's my 86, my original track car. Freaking love that thing. And then we also built out the Bitcoin Supra to try to take Bitcoin and tracking to the next level, if you will. So I've got a bunch of electrical circuits ran in here. So I run a bunch of miners in this corner. I run a couple miners over there in that corner. And I'll show you upstairs here in a second. There's literally no airflow in here, and yet it's still about 73 degrees. And basically with this big concrete pad and the deep footers, and this Tech Shield radiant barrier truly does make a big difference. But basically it stays pretty cool in here. I have to be mindful of how much hardware I'm running though. So I got 3 mini miners running in here and a big boy miner, the KS3, and they make it toastier on this side. I keep this door open to help just get the temperature down in here. To contrast that, it's 83 degrees in here, so it's almost 10 degrees hotter, and that's down here on the lower level. Imagine most of the heat's up there trapped in the gable. This building was never designed to be a mining building. This is supposed to be my workshop, my repair center, my content creation studio, my field office, maybe double as a guest house eventually, or who knows, anything. But like, it's literally supposed to be for everything work related, minus mining, because mining quickly takes over everything in my life. So we come upstairs and a lot of miner boxes. A couple little mini miners running over there, I don't have a temperature gauge up here, but it's probably like a stagnant 80. I do have a mini split already installed, and that was kind of an accidental thing. It's here now, sunk cost. And basically where I want to go with this is I want to finish up here, make this nice, and then I want to probably dress up the RV garage a little bit, you know, just spray the walls white, maybe do a quick coating on the floor, and then I want to turn the main garage area, right, that we're looking at here. You poke you through these 2x6s. I want to turn this area into like a garage, workshop, industrial man cave for mining, mods, repairs, testing, sweet test bench, everything else like that. So one day, someday, I'm constantly doing things. I make a little bit of progress all the time, just never as much as I really want to. So this building has pretty much been what it's been this whole way. And you're probably more interested in, like, say, the pod. So the pod basically comes next in the timeline. So I got the shed, and it pretty much just sat there for a while, and then I did the electrical a couple months later, but didn't actually activate it. I did run some miners in there with zero airflow in the winter, because why not? Field building, built, situated, and it hasn't changed too much. I've just added a few more circuits along the way since then. So now let's look at the pod. This came in shortly after we were able to get our utilities online out here. And so Scott created this digital shovel, came down.
It's really me, really Crypto Santa.
Man.
Ready to deliver the first ever 208 version of the digital shovel minipod.
It's been a good unit overall. I've had some issues with the PDUs. Some of the fans have, motors have failed. Some of the fan belts have failed. The network switch failed. But right now, 2 of the 4 fans are working, which is about what I need. One things can limp by. 2 is kind of the minimum of how many I should be running, with how many miners I can run in there on single phase. Because if you have 3-phase electricity, basically you get way better density with something like this. So if you got 3-phase in the juice, you can deploy 88 miners in this pod. And to contrast that, on single phase with 400 amps, you'll be able to deploy around 24 miners, which is what I have in there. That's also why I don't really need full fan capacity. So big intakes, 6, 18, 2-foot air filters are in here. You can see I've got power and Ethernet running into the side of the pod over here. It's pretty unique looking, which I personally enjoy. It's got a keypad to get in, as well as a manual lock, basic camera security system, a bunch of racks on the inside to get that maximum 88 miner density. And you can see the 4 exhaust fans right here. Whatever you do not stick your finger in there. They originally have stickers that say, don't do that. But of course, like every warning, they disappear over time. That's the fan motor. That's one of the belts. You can peek the... And you can see the miners there. So that's the air-cooled piece of the farm. And that's really all we have for air cooling right now. I am working on deploying another building to just cut on costs. I'm just gonna drop it right here next to the hard drive shed. And I'll explain more about that chapter when we get there, which won't be today. So next we've got the green shed, which is the hard drive shed. It's basically my little mini DIY data center. And you can see we have a mini split on that side and then another mini split unit on this side. So these units can provide cooling or heating, which I'll never need. This unit in particular, this is what I should have put on both sides, can run in low ambient temperatures. So like this can literally cool while it's freezing out. It won't freeze the system or anything like that. And it got pretty cold this winter and it ran fine through it, which is freaking awesome, all I can ask. That's critical because inside this hard drive shed, these miners are making heat 24/7, 365. These are all evergreen miners. They're plug and play hard drive miners. I've got some more miners I'm working on. I've got a couple miners out for repairs, and I have some nodes over there. I'm gonna be deploying some computer servers in here. I wanna pursue some AI mining, which I will put a small cluster of them in here as well. But this has really just been hard drive mining thus far. And we recently got this cleaned up with our new shelf system. It's a very tight design. It may even feel a bit cluttered, right? But the point being is this is supposed to be an effective and efficient space. Nice, simple, clean, effective. I don't want excess ceiling height. It's just more to cool. I don't want a ton of space on the sides. It's just more to cool. I made this bigger than I really wanted or needed, to be honest, just to be able to shoot content, right? So I can be over here, I can get some angles, and also have the room to put a couple desks in here and a couple servers, because this doubles as my field office, especially until I get the field building kind of fixed up, because there's nowhere that's cool out here or warm. So in the winter, everything's freezing, and in here it's nice and warm. In the summer, everything will melt your face off, and here it's nice and cool. So this is a very useful building beyond just, getting some hard drives, earning passive income. Because hard drive mining is not the most lucrative endeavor per se, right? The most profitable ASIC miners, right? Those purpose-built custom computers, they'll make more money, sure. But so this whole green shed pulls less than $100 in an electrical bill a month, right? You contrast that to say like the Immersion shed. It's literally 50 times more expensive. Hard drive mining is much more realistic, attainable, and feasible for most people, really. You just may have to start slow with the capital constraint because hard drives are kind of expensive. This was designed by me. I spent a lot of time on it, tried to really get it right from the beginning. I built it with the Amish, so their electrical guy did all the electric. They did the insulation in the walls and the floor. They put the cedar paneling up. They put the sub panel in. So I literally took delivery of basically a ready to go device. They even put the rough in for the camera up here. So all we had to do, throw the mini splits on it and then connect the electrical service and run Ethernet into it. And we had already, with him, punched in a 2-gang box to put Ethernet into. This was just very cool plug and play project, something I'm really proud of, something I spent a lot of time designing and agonizing over, and not as much time, say, like in the field working on, which is, to be honest, the exact opposite of the gray mining shed, which evolved into the Immersion mining shed. So we just call this the Immersion or VoskCoin Immersion mining shed. So that's a little baby dry cooler right there, DCX for 2 miners. This is their bigger dry cooler for 8 miners. You'll notice 2 hoses going in from every unit. One's a hot line, one's a cool line. Right, one's the hot fluid coming in, one is the cool fluid going back to the immersion tank. That'll make more sense as we go, along with a power cable for each unit. Also cut in an intake fan because we need airflow inside of this, because it just gets too stagnant and all these units radiate heat. This is the VoskCoin B6D dry cooler, pretty much same thing. That cools 6 miners. The unique thing about this, I guess, is that it has a water curtain on the back. I don't have the water curtain in use. I don't have access to water right here. I may rig up a system to be able to use that in the future. But yeah, that's that. This is the VoskCoin C2. This is an incredible starter immersion mining unit. It's really cool. Watch our video review on it. If you want to like try immersion mining, there it is. This is the BixBit 2 miner dry cooler. This is the BixBit 6 miner dry cooler. If you think that looks big, it's because it is. It's just kind of classic, like everything's bigger in Russia styling. So DCX is Polish, BixBit is Russian. Even though they say their headquarters is in like Poland and Texas now, they have Russian origin, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. We'll just leave it at that. So here's the exhaust fan I cut in. It's 10 or 12 inch. I can't remember. I think it's a 12 inch AC Infinity unit. It's been good so far. It's got the little smart controller. It gives me a real-time temperature readout, which I do enjoy and appreciate. I just run it at speed 10, which is max capacity, because it pretty much just gets better out here for that. And so let's just kind of work backwards, and I'll show you inside of these as I talk through them. So the BixBit immersion tank installs honestly were very difficult, very challenging. That's the short of it. Took over 2 work weeks to complete them, but they run now, and they work very well once they're running, which I'm very happy with that aspect, other than 2 pinhole leaks, 1 on each unit. But they've been holding good enough pressure that we're just kind of letting it eat like as if your car is burning oil. A lot of crazy times in the install. Funny video. If you got an hour to burn, check it out. This is the 6 miner unit. I've got 4 Bitcoin miners in there, 2 Dogecoin miners, liquid cooling. Then this is the 2 miner unit. I actually converted it, and I'm running 3 miners in there. So I'm happy to just try to maximize my density out here. That unit is pulling 42 watts. We put the Drock meters on here and cut a meter box in half to make the mounting easy with the faceplate. And then we did the same thing over here on the 6 miner unit. So that's pulling 72 amps in real time. I made a big mistake running my electrical circuits in the beginning, which wasn't a mistake I made in my original mining shed. But I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't specify, and my electrician had ran the electric circuits around the middle of the building. I should have, held them up high, because this is where, I need access for equipment, or I'm bolting stuff on the wall, or I need to cut holes in for air intakes and exhaust, because I was originally going to have, air intake this side, exhaust that side, and that became much more difficult with 400 amps of, 240 volt, orange wire Romex running around in my way, something to work around. But anyway, moving on. This is the VoskCoin C2. These units are very, very cool. You get a nice see-through lid on top. Push the button, see real-time readout of what the temperature is. If you want to grab them, we've got a coupon code VoskCoin to save some coin on it. It's been working great. Very happy. Very impressed. We've got it rigged up with 2 of Altair's mining PDUs, which basically both plug into 2 30-amp circuits. And so we've got the system and the miners on these. There is one issue with this design, is if a power outage occurs, the miners will come back online and start mining, but the system will not automatically start cooling. It's really supposed to all be on one circuit. I don't really know how they expect you to do that with the demands of miners. The B6D is designed in a more thoughtful way, but it's running much hotter at 48 Celsius. But basically, all of this is pre-wired. If you look in here under the hood, and you can see that everything's wired in here. You drop the miners in, you click this, you turn on the circulation, you click it again, you start mining. It's really an impressive, just kind of all-in-one unit. So between the system and the miners and everything, I'm using about 70 amps on this system. And you see the cumulative kilowatt hours is getting quite high as we've been running this for a couple months now. The other downside on this thing is that the pump in it is kind of loud. It's the loudest unit by far in here. Still pretty quiet, but apparently their newer C6 model is much quieter. I hope to get one soon, and we'll find out. Speaking of these mining PDUs, here's 4 more of them. With our code VoskCoin, you get them for about $100 shipped. I don't want to sound like a salesman or whatever, but it supports the channel and saves you some money. So I appreciate if you take time to use it. They are powering 2 miners each in the DCX Immersion mining enclosure 8 miner unit. This miner has been a very good unit overall. I have had a couple little issues in the beginning, but I think a lot of it was really just wicking of the immersion fluid, or there is a tiny leak, but not enough where it caused an issue with the fluid level. You definitely start to realize on these things, you just really want to get to a point where it's like good enough. Over here, we've got the DCX BitPod 2 miner unit. So we've got 2 more miners in there, 2 more Bitcoin miners. And it's basically, you know, their starter kit for immersion mining. So it's been a very interesting endeavor. I've run another 125 amp circuit over here and put in a disconnect, stealing electric from the green shed to deploy 6 more miners in here. The thermal output of all of this, even though there's no actual miner mining and everything's liquid cooled, is kind of the equivalent to like running a 2,000 watt or so maybe miner in here. So the exhaust fan is absolutely needed, and I'm hoping and believe that I can kind of squeak by still putting 6 more miners in here. I've got a little bit of extra electrical capacity, so I can use my test bench. So on my test bench over here, I can you know, repair miners, test miners, swap power supplies, and whatever else. I got a bunch of spare parts here on the immersion shed. This is a setup in here, like I basically want to take this and then make it 10 times bigger, better, and cooler over in VoskCoin HQ. So this has just been my I need something right now stopgap, and we have spent so much time in here. We have DIY'd the vast majority of the things related to this shed, and BMA, super cool local immersion mining farm operators. We become good friends along the way, or at least I think buddies.
Is it really a video if you don't fall over?
They come out and hang out and help us with this stuff, and it makes it more fun, and it makes it a lot easier, because some of this stuff can be really frustrating. You have somebody to lean on, whether that's a professional colleague or a buddy or I don't know, cousin, whatever, right? Anybody. Instead of just being out here getting pissed by yourself, it can make a big difference. And that's why I really encourage people to say, like, join the VoskCoin Discord server or some other kind of crypto community. Connect with others, because trying to bring people who aren't into crypto is, to be frank, a losing endeavor that will probably just suck for you, maybe ruin a friendship, and probably cost you money or missed gains. Contrast that with like making good friends with other crypto fanatics. You're probably going to be in for a good time and find much more success. I don't know everything, but I've been doing this for about 7 years, and that has proven true time and time again, year over year over year. And we can do that 7 times, or as Zelensky said on the most recent season of Survivor, several. Oh man, if you watched that was pretty fun.
Several means 7. It's a part of the word.
No,
is it not?
No. Several is more than a couple.
Several means 7 in my book.
So yeah, welcome to my crib. Hope you enjoyed this MTV tour. And that's kind of where I'm at, what I've been doing, the current status of the VoskCoin mining farm in 2024. Running about 100 different mining machines across the farm. Not all full-size miners. Definitely a lot of stuff still needs to be done. And I just try to put in the time every day. I work a lot, but I'm trying to have a little bit more work-life balance. I'm trying to spend a little bit more time with friends and family, and of course, my beautiful pup, Tails. Tails kickstarted the journey when she got sick, and really helped and forced me to make the plunge to pursue this full time. As I lost my previous job because, long story short, she was dying, and I was like, I'm not coming in. I'm going to take care of my pup, and this may be my last night with her. So I got terminated for that. Central personnel, so essentially, f you. But hey, it worked out. I don't harbor too much anger on that anymore. It's I hate, the time doesn't heal all, but time heals some stuff. So kind of what's next for me? Another mining building focused on air cooled to just get some more equipment deployed, and also another 6 miner immersion tank to get more equipment deployed. I'm at absolute capacity. I've got over 24 miners in the pod. The electric on that is maxed out with my current electrical infrastructure. I'm still probably like a year out from getting 3-phase. 3-phase will allow me to run basically 500 miners, and I can run about 100 both size miners, so it'll like 5x my capacity. And then beyond that, I want to add solar. I've talked about that for years, but I'm a firm believer in I need to focus on getting as much of this farm set up and deployed. One, so the electric utility company takes me serious. They're like, wow, this guy means it. So he showed us this stuff, and that's what he's doing, and he's gonna 5x it. Okay, let's actually get this done for him. And then hopefully crypto goes crazy, prices are crazy, returns are crazy, and at some point I'm going to pivot from buying miners, right? Because it was just a month or so ago, I invested another $40,000 into 12 more mining rigs. It's exciting, but honestly, it's scary. You look at your returns daily and you're like, yeah, we're getting more returns, but it's like, hey, you also dropped 40 freaking G's on that. We got to make that back, dude. We got to make that back. So bank account's not looking too good, but I hate fiat money anyway. Anyway, I'm gonna start ranting. I can go on and on about that stuff, but the bottom line is, I'm actively expanding. When miners get too crazy, I'm just gonna stop. And it's kind of like investing. And I can't give you investment advice, but for me personally, or like when I use Robinhood. And did you see their new credit card? I'm like going on tangents right now. You see their new credit card is going to give anybody 3% rewards. That's freaking crazy. No fee. You do have to be a Robinhood Gold member, so I guess that's your fee. It's $5 a month. But I'm already a Robinhood Gold member, so it's essentially free for me because I'm already in that and going to continue doing that. Because their savings rate is 5% on any dirty dollars you have. So that's one of the places I park my unused cash. Getting all over the place. But on their stock ratings and stuff, it's buy, hold, sell. I guess they can give financial advice, not me though. And I view this endeavor with those metrics too. Sometimes it's time to buy, sometimes it's time to hold. With where I'm at in my mining journey, I don't really anticipate ever selling. A lot of my mining hardware has appreciated. I'm up big on a lot of my miners as far as like their value goes, which is a cool thing and seldom talked about. I think a lot of people focus on, miners, depreciating or breaking or whatever, but sometimes they go up in value. But I'm going to hold all my stuff and just let it run, let it eat. And when it becomes worthless to run, I'll either turn it off or hopefully have solar and I'll be making free electric and I won't care. So if my power's free and my miner's paid off, I got a money cheat code. So that's kind of where I'm at in my game plan with that stuff. It helps to have a long-term plan. And I just try to work hard every day to get closer, and I'm still burnt out, and I'm still kind of burning out, but less so than I was before. Trying to smooth out a lot of aspects of my life, a lot of things still going on, but I am actively closing more projects than I'm opening, and it's resulting in a bit of a healthier lifestyle for me. So that's good. That's good, right? I'm just trying to end every day and being like, I'm proud of myself. I worked hard. I think I did a good job. And that's all I need to be able to say. Like I just need to end the day and be like, good job, you did a good job. You should be happy. You should be proud. Like you did enough, because you can't just do 150% every day forever. Trust me, I've tried. You start to fall apart at the seams. It takes a toll in more ways than one. That's all I got. That's kind of where I'm at. That's the current status. I'm very excited for the next 2 pieces to the farm because I need the additional space with some equipment I have on order, so these are not optional expansions for me. They are absolutely required, and I'm gonna really be at the top of my electrical consumption capabilities with the current infrastructure build out. And I'm going to be cognizant of that, and try not to put myself in a bind where I end up with more hardware than I have the capability to run. So on that note, hope you subscribe if you liked the video, and if you didn't and you're still here, I hope you also subscribe anyway. Try not to be too mean in the comments. All right, I like to read them and reply. Jeez, some people say some shit to you online that they would never say to you in person. It's just a disappointing thing, but we don't need to end on a negative note. How about we end on a positive note of what's something you're happy about, thankful for, progress you made in the last year? I'd love to hear from you down below. My progress point is I'm happy and proud, and deep breath, and I want to appreciate that I am moving forward. And this time a year ago, my current mining farm absolutely destroys, obliterates. It's so much bigger and better and more efficient and more profitable than it was a year ago, and that's something to be proud of, thankful for, and rejoice, something like that. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Drive safe. Hey, you want to buy a mining rig? Do you want a pretty good price on it and pretty fast shipping? Then you may be looking for ASIC Marketplace. Click our link in the video description below to not only support our channel, but support yourself with the coupon code we've got right next to it.